cost of living forever meant you could never have children, would you pay the price? In order to live forever in a life of luxury and riches, the episode Pop Squad from Love, Death, and Robots shows us exactly what that reality would look like. When Detective Briggs walks into a crime scene, he finds a place that appeared to be abandoned, but had actually been the home of an elderly woman and her 2 children. Officers interrogate the woman while the children are taken into another room. They question her about everything. What she's doing here, is the landlord involved, are there people helping her, but most importantly, they want to know if there are other families in the area. The woman fearfully tells them that they are simply just trying to live. Briggs and his partner are disgusted as they roam the scene. They can't believe that the woman and her children had been living in such horrible conditions. Finally, they reach the room where the children are being held. As the little boy offers Briggs his stuffed animal, Briggs pulls out his gun and kills the 2 kids. Even though Briggs feels bad, he understands that keeping the population at bay is his job. In this world, the rich control everything, including the population. In order to continue living in their riches, they've made it illegal to have children and subject themselves to regular medicated boosts that keep them young and alive for the rest of eternity. Or at least it protects them from dying of natural causes. Because of this, they see no use for things such as marriage, because when life lasts forever, nobody's in a rush. As Briggs attends an event, the guilt from killing the 2 children weighs heavily on his shoulders, causing him to become distracted and irritable during his day-to-day life. The adults who choose to secretly have children are called breeders, and while investigating another breeder home, the adult suspect manages to escape the clutches of the officers and gets a hold of a gun. Enraged, he berates Briggs for his child-killing profession before being shot down in cold blood. But the man's words only intensify Briggs's guilt, and when he spots the little boy's stuffed animal in the evidence box in the back of his car, Briggs decides to take a trip down to the store where the toy was created. The toy store he finds acts as some sort of antique store where children's items are being sold as collectibles. Once inside, he spots a woman buying a toy train. Growing suspicious of her shifting gaze, he follows her to an old abandoned house in the middle of the woods. When he enters the home, he comes across the woman along with her daughter Melanie. The woman becomes defensive, but contrary to her belief, Briggs isn't here to harm her. Instead, he wants to understand why she would have a child when her life would be so much richer without one. The woman explains that she's been alive for more than 200 years, and in that time, she'd seen how bad the world had gotten. But children symbolize a fresh start, and as she watches her daughter grow, she had found new hope for the future. Briggs can't help but be swayed by this touching tale, and when the child wants to play a game with him, he gives in. While he's distracted, the mother reaches for his gun, but Briggs is quick to beat her to it. As he turns the gun on the child, the mother begs for him to take her instead. Unable to tear them apart, he rushes out the door. To his surprise, his partner is waiting for him outside. When she hears a baby's cry coming from inside the house, his partner knows that Briggs has turned soft. They take aim for each other at the same time. His partner is fighting for the world they live in, and Briggs is resisting the monster he's become. They both suffer fatal wounds, but the partner dies instantly. In his last few minutes, Briggs allows the storm to wash over him, and he looks up at the sky as if seeing the world in a new light. The idea of sacrifice is a major component in this episode. It begs the audience to question exactly what they would be willing to give up in order to live the life they desire. Does the notion of everyone having a price actually resonate, or are there some things that money can never buy? Briggs struggles with this realization on a day-to-day basis. Because the world is suffering from overpopulation, Briggs's job is seen as a necessity. Not only has this method proven to offer everyone a better quality of life, but it's preventing the world from facing complications created by overcrowding. However, it's an extremely sadistic and immoral thing to do. These children did not ask to be brought into the world, yet they are the ones being punished. And for those who had grown tired of life, these children have given them a reason to keep living. In addition, the world Pop Squad takes place in forces everyone to live their lives in an inhumane way by forcing people to ignore their natural emotions. In a world where time is no longer important, relationships cease to exist. Why find love when you can spend the rest of your life exploring anyone and anything? The idea of soulmates and true loves are no longer fantasies that long to be explored. But in getting rid of these notions, everyone becomes selfish. Those who live in this world live only for themselves. Forming relationships with family members is not important anymore because relationships just wouldn't matter. Those who live in this world live only for themselves. Everyone around them becomes disposable. This begs the question if a person can really be truly happy without love. But in this world, when time goes on forever, there's only so much a person can do. They can cross off everything on their bucket list, shake hands with every person in the world, travel across the globe a million times. But eventually, having accomplished everything they aspired to do, a person may find themselves with nothing but memories and nobody new to share them with.